Yeah, eh. Every time I come around you, baby girl, something doesn't feel the same.
Hey everybody, welcome to Dripping with Amadi. Today's video is going to be my New Orleans vlog. So we're starting from me in Philadelphia and then we're heading over to New Orleans. I went last year around my birthday and these are the things that I did. So for day one, we came in straight off the plane and we headed to Congo Square. So Congo Square is actually part of Louis Armstrong Park, and the square is significant for the African Americans within New Orleans as well as just understanding African American history. So on Sundays, it was a law that the enslaved people in that area of Louisiana, or rather New Orleans, had a day off. So the enslaved people would congregate, gather, play music, worship in that square. Later on that night, after we got nice and settled, we headed over to Bourbon Street. So Bourbon Street, depending on who you talk to, is really nasty or it's really fun. So for me and my friends celebrating our birthday, we had a really good time. So we headed to a couple of different spots. Day two, we actually started our day with breakfast and then headed on to the French Quarter for a free walking tour. I love a free walking tour. Great way to see the city. And then we headed to the Jazz Cruise. So for real, the Jazz Cruise wasn't that quite jazzy and it wasn't that entertaining, but the French Market was. So the French Market is a place where you can get fresh produce, you can get souvenirs if you like that kind of thing, or it's also a place where you can find some good eats. So me and my friends were definitely there for the good eats. So I tried a praline beignet, which was delicious. My first beignet ever. I had pralines before. And my friend had fried oysters. And these are just a couple of things of the great New Orleans cuisine. You have Creole and you have Cajun cuisine. Day three, we woke up bright and early to get on that swamp tour. So it was around an hour-ish out of like French Quarter, Treme area of New Orleans. On a swamp tour, We did see a lot of gators actually. So we saw probably like 4 or 5. And how they lure them in is that they feed them marshmallows. See the little marshmallows? I actually got to hold a little baby gator. And then we headed over to Neo's restaurant. But before we did that, we went to the Whitney Plantation. Now this plantation, y'all, I literally at the end, I was in tears. It was such a moving place. It was a plantation where enslaved African Americans worked various different crops depending on the time of the year. So sometimes it was sugarcane, sometimes it was cotton. But the stories and the lives that we learned that they lived at that time was very moving. And I got me a little book too. So day 4, I decided that I wanted to do a little picnic to celebrate my birthday, and I said everyone to wear floral. We were trying to coordinate. Later on that night, we went to a ghost tour. So we actually got to go into an actual cemetery. It is a Masonic cemetery. So the Freemasons, those are the individuals who run that cemetery and who are the people buried in the actual plots. Our tour guide, he was an actual Wiccan, so that was interesting. He gave us some interesting information. And this was the second ghost tour I ever went on. The first one was in Savannah. So I guess the South has a lot of ghosts. I don't know. And we finished our night at Yard's restaurant to hear some great jazz music. So that was my New Orleans vlog. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to see more vlogs from me, click that video to the right. And if you want to see more tips for traveling, click that video to the left.